Hi guys, welcome. The sound is coming from my phone and I'm not at home, right? Just made a video where I switched while I grabbed my SSD on which was installed, as you see, Ctrl-Alt-T, right? We've got this installed, but not really installed. I just brought it from home, put it to something else. Basically, the CPU is different and the GPU is more or less sister or brother of the one that I have on the ISO builder, but it's not the one where I grabbed it from. It is an older version, GeForce 9, I think, right? But magic, it just works. You just snatch an SSD from one machine, put it on another machine, and it boots up. It even boots up Hyperland. So that's Wayland or with NVIDIA, right? Now, we haven't installed it. So one of the things that took us some time, like almost 30 minutes or so, is the BIOS UEFI. This machine, this hardware has never, ever seen Linux. Always Windows 10, Windows 11. So you need to figure out how do we get eventually in UEFI. And yes, in Windows 10 or 11, you have this Windows update. And if you go there to recovery options and even further down the list, there is somewhere advanced options and to reboot. And then you go and find the firmware. That's one of the ways to do it. So finally, we got in there and let me show you how it looks. So we need to reboot a Super X. I have to do everything with one hand, so I'm really keeping, my left hand is keeping this steady, and the other one is my typing work. We had to figure out which one was it, F2, F12, 10, F11, F8 in my case. Here it is F11, right? So I need to keep on pressing F11 until maybe I shut down the machine. Sorry. So, booting up. So my finger is on F11. Quite frantically, we click and click and click and click in the hope that we get our BIOS and UEFI again, which we did in the past, which we don't now. Yes, we do. So this is what you need, something like this that tells you how to boot. Can I put it here? Yeah, it's more steady. So, choices, right? Let's make this video about the setup. You can't install Linux if you never went into your UEFI settings, your system, motherboard settings, whatever you want to call it, right? You need to go in there. So enter setup, and then we get this marvelous little screen that says how fast we're working. And at some point in time, I went to a different setting. So there's an advanced button at the top, F7, but there's also something less advanced, and I suppose that's this. So we've all kinds of options here, and it also tells you what I'm on. So this time, well, on next video, we'll install everything. ArcoLinux, I mean, of course, XL I have popped in there. Could be any of the others, but that's the one I have. And yeah, all these settings tell him to go and boot with boot priority, all of these guys, right? Now, what we found, let me think, what we figured out, I think we went to advanced, F7 at the top there. And then we went into, no, that's not it. Was it this or was it that? Yeah, that's the one we were looking at in the beginning. So settings, and we thought, where are the settings, right? So let's go over them. System status, that was clean. The advanced was, I think I did something for the, what's this? Yeah, we changed this, I think, but not via this button, but via the easy mode at the top, the easy mode. And then there is this CSM here, on or off. You see, I think I saw this at some point in time. I said, I need that. CSM is going to be on. Okay, so on, Eric. Did we not do that? Does not seem to change right now. Does it? Oh, I might break it again. Okay. Well, if you think you're breaking things, you do this, you close it up. Sometimes there's a save button or something, and then it says you have not made any changes to the BIOS system. So, okay, fine. I did not mess it up, right? And otherwise, you don't save it and you reboot and you try again and see if the settings are okay. So the advanced button, let's go in here again. Where did I change more stuff? CPU, let's see, memory, that's all the simple, this is the simple option. So I did not go in here. So I went into the advanced at the top and then went into this settings. Boot was certainly something I went into and changed the priorities. I did not change anything here actually. I told him that I dragged these guys from USB, all the USB guys, I put that in the front, not knowing what it really was, but as long as it says USB, I had this feeling, maybe, right? Maybe we should put all the USBs in the beginning as boot priority. So that's already something that's should be the first thing to do. Here's another USB guy and all of them in the beginning. Now I thought, is this now saved or not? There's no save button or anything, but once you press this X thing up here, then he says, whoa, let's change all these kind of things. UEFI, USB key, so a lot of things change now. And we say yes or no, right? I'll save in a bit. So back to here, motherboard settings, and then security. We're going to look at that as well. Trusted computing. I disabled this. It was enabled for Windows, I suppose, right? Enabled. And so no, I said disable this thing. Disable blocks it is disabled as well. Okay, and all the rest, I left it. Now I'm not sure if this needs to be disabled or enabled, but things you're not sure about, you just test it out, simple as that. So let's see if we can boot up with this. So the only thing we've added is USBs, all USBs, but all the rest is okay. Now in there somewhere is something about virtual machines as well. So VirtualBox and all that. Did not see that immediately, and that was not my goal. I wanted to boot Linux. Now F11, I maybe too late to press F11. No, I'm not. And then if you see this, then you know, yes, right? Yes. Now we can boot off from the USB. And this is the one I need to select, because this, you've seen it in the beginning, it has an NVIDIA card. And thank God, right? It needs NVIDIA DKMS. So no issue for me. All the older machines, yeah, all the graphical cards are less supported by ArcoLinux, and yeah, you need to build them from AOR basically, but it's doable. It's not that difficult, and in the end, it's all knowledge and time as well. Time, CPU power. And in case you're wondering, I'm using something to record this. This was the last recording you see. That's the machine I used, Audio-Technica. No numbering or anything like it, I think. Oh yeah, here's the number for the guys who wanna purchase something. Made in Japan, assembled in China. Look at that. But we're not using this now, right? It's the Samsung, I don't know what, a phone, a smartphone. Let me turn this a little bit better, like so. So this you recognize, of course, and yeah, this is just a standard installation. Once you get here, you know it's gonna work, right? You know you figured it out and you've told your motherboard to boot from your USB, and now it's off to let the thing do its work. Either you go offline or you go online. Let's do a more complex thing. The card, the network card is available. So all the drivers are there. I mean, the NIC, as they call it, network interface card, is working because it's already red, right? There are updates, yay! But if you want to install more, let us add this as well. What you see is what you get, right? Want more? That's Calamaris. That's the want more. You want another kernel? Install another kernel. So these are the things you can add more to it. Never less, more. I'll just get my stuff in that I want, and that's the ArcoLinux development stuff. So stuff that I need. Well, not really, right? Not on this machine. So GIMP and Inkscape are not something I definitely need right now. But you select, you choose whatever you want, and off we go. Erase disk, X4, swap with Hibernate, enough space. And now I'm going to write my hyperlink address, the one you saw earlier. It's going to be gone. And we'll have an Excel with NVIDIA. Doing this with one hand, and if you're wondering why my left hand is moving a lot, because it's training to keep everything stable, right? So let's switch. Wow. Exercising my left hand here. Some blood through the fingers. Now, do I need to keep this running? I don't think so. It will make the video just longer, and 12 minutes is already something. But I'll make another video next time around, and then show you the hardware again, the one I've shown on ArcoLinux B Hyperland. That's one of the previous videos. Let's end here and start recording after reboot.